All right, so we're diving deep today into how Apple, became the world's biggest company in 2025.
Yeah.
And get this, they're worth like $3.68 trillion.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot.
It is.
Now, you probably use Apple like every day, right?
Probably. Yeah.
But there's a lot going on like behind the scenes that makes them so successful, and that's what we're gonna like figure out today.
Yeah, it's interesting because they're not just like big.
Right.
They've been huge for years and years and years, and that takes more than, just a nice design or a cool gadget.
Yeah, you need a plan.
You need a plan.
Stick around that long.
Long-term vision and some sneaky moves, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we're talking over 2 billion active Apple devices out there.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's like a direct line to most of the planet, right?
A huge chunk of the population, exactly. And one of the things they've been doing is integrating AI.
Yeah, really quietly.
Quietly, yeah.
This article from smartphonemagazine.nl back in January called it Apple's secret push into AI. Like no big announcement, they just did it.
They just rolled it out, let the results speak for themselves. Which is interesting because if you look at all the chatter online, everyone's going crazy. Trying to figure out what it is.
The X posts on March 6th are just full of people trying to figure out what these AI features actually are.
Exactly. And that makes people more curious, I think.
Worse.
So on top of the tech, they've got this mystery box that they're slowly revealing, and everyone's trying to figure out what's inside.
It's brilliant.
It's a competitive edge, I think, because while everyone else is making these big pronouncements, Apple's just embedding AI into, like, billions of users' lives. Okay,
so we've got AI like secretly working its way into everything, but let's talk about something you can actually hold the Vision Pro headset.
Right.
This article from applescoop.org back in 2021, they said it was going to be Tim Cook's like big final project before he maybe steps down.
Yeah, and it's more than just the headset, right? Because that article hinted that they're secretly working on AR glasses.
Yeah.
So imagine moving from this big clunky headset to something like sunglasses.
Yeah.
That's the potential.
It changes everything.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine just putting on some glasses and suddenly you've got augmented reality.
Augmented reality right in front of you.
Yeah. What kind of impact could that have?
Massive impact.
Yeah.
Think about how we talk to each other.
Right.
How we have fun, how we work, how we learn.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is, those X posts from March 6th already have all these rumors about Vision Pro 2.
So they're already working on the next one.
They're miles ahead.
Yeah.
Well, everyone else is just getting their hands on the first one.
They're on a different timeline.
Totally different timeline.
Yeah. Okay. Which brings us to another sneaky thing that Apple does so well. Their money moves their finances.
Okay.
This article from smartphonemagazine.nl in January said their dividend yield was only 0.41%.
Right. And you look at that and you're like, well, that seems low.
Yeah, for Apple.
For a company like Apple, yeah. But it's all part of the plan.
Okay, explain it to me.
So that tiny dividend, combined with their massive stock buyback program, is a genius way to keep investors happy.
Okay.
And boost the value of their stock without making a big fuss about it.
They're just quiet about it.
It's subtle and effective, and most people don't even notice it's happening.
So they're getting stronger financially while everyone's looking at the new products.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, I see the strategy here.
It's a long game.
Yeah.
But of course, not everyone agrees.
Right.
If you look at those X posts, there are a lot of people who think...
Other success, there's always going to be debate.
Always, yeah.
Which brings us back to that big question from the applescoop.org article. Is Tim Cook really going to leave in 2025? Maybe even after Vision Pro launches? What do you think about this whole, succession mystery?
It's fascinating because Apple is so secretive.
About who's next in line. But the X posts are just a gold mine of theories. Everyone has their own idea.
It's like we're trying to guess the ending of a movie.
Yeah.
When we're only halfway through.
Yeah, you've got clues, but it's all just speculation.
So thinking about the next person to lead Apple, what qualities do they absolutely need?
That's the million-dollar question.
What challenges are they going to face?
They're going to need vision, for sure.
Right.
But they're also going to need to be able to navigate this crazy tech world.
Yeah.
It moves so fast.
It does.
They got to be adaptable.
Yeah.
Innovative.
Right.
Maybe even a little bit ruthless.
Yeah.
Apple doesn't play it safe.
No, they don't.
But I think they're also going to need to be able to talk to people.
Yeah, communicate.
Yeah, communicate, inspire their team.
Right.
And connect with millions of users all over the world.
And understand what makes Apple Apple.
Right, the core values.
Yeah.
The simplicity, elegance, that user experience,
Right.
that's what sets them apart.
Yeah, and that can't get lost.
It can't, yeah.
So it's a tough job.
It's a really tough job.
But Apple always seems to find the right person.
Yeah, they do.
They're always one step ahead.
It's amazing.
It's really interesting.
That's what makes this whole deep dive so fascinating.
Yeah.
We're not just looking at their past wins,
Yeah.
but we're also getting a glimpse into their future.
Yeah. It's like we're behind the scenes of one of the most powerful companies on Earth.
Right.
And this is just the beginning.
The tip of the iceberg.
There's so much more to uncover.
Absolutely.
And what's really interesting is that Apple's not content to just like sit back and relax.
No, they're not resting on their laurels.
No.
They're always pushing forward, trying new things.
Yeah, it's pretty inspiring.
It is.
It makes you wonder what they're going to do in the next 5, 10, 20 years.
What are they dreaming up right now?
Yeah, what industries are they going to turn upside down next?
Yeah, and how are they going to change how we live, how we work,
Right.
how we experience the world?
It's the big questions.
Those are the big ones.
Yeah. And we may not have all the answers right now,
Right.
but this deep dive has given us a way to understand how Apple thinks.
It's like a decoder ring
Yeah.
for understanding their move.
And now we can want to guess what they're going to do next.
Yeah, like a game of strategic forecast.
With really high stakes
Really high. Yeah.
and huge rewards.
Potentially limitless.
Yeah. This is exciting stuff.
It is exciting.
And it reminds us that in the tech world, the only thing that's for sure is change.
Right.
And Apple seems to embrace that change better than anyone.
They use it to their advantage.
But in all this talk about innovation and disruption,
Yeah.
there's one big question we need to ask.
Okay.
What does all this mean for, like, the average person?
Mm-hmm.
How will Apple's future affect our lives in a real way?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think to answer that, we need to zoom out a bit, look past the product launches and the financial reports,
Okay.
and think about the bigger picture. Like, what does Apple's dominance mean for society?
Because Apple's stuff is already, like, a big part of our lives.
We use their products for everything.
Yeah. We talk to people, we work, we learn, we have fun.
Exactly. And as they keep pushing the boundaries of tech, that's only going to get more intense.
So Apple's influence is going to go way beyond our phones and laptops.
Yeah.
We're talking about a future where their tech shapes how we see the world, how we connect with each other, maybe even how we think.
It's both exciting and a little scary, don't you think?
It is.
It raises some big questions about privacy, control, the balance of power between people and big companies.
It's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
It's like we're at a crossroads, and the path we choose now is going to determine what happens next.
It is.
Do we just go all in on this future, or do we need to be a little careful?
Right. Mindful of the risks.
Yeah, these are tough conversations we need to have.
They are.
But they're important if we want to make sure that tech helps people.
Right. Not the other way around.
And this deep dive into Apple's secret strategies has given us a good place to start those conversations.
It's a good foundation.
Yeah, it's shown us the power of thinking ahead.
Long term. Yeah.
Yeah, and why we need to pay attention in a world that's changing so fast.
Absolutely.
So where do we go from here? How do we use what we've learned and apply it to our own lives, our work, our understanding of the world?
That's the challenge.
Yeah.
And I think the first step is just being aware.
Okay.
Paying attention to the little changes happening around us, questioning what we think we know,
Right.
and being willing to adapt.
And we're not just watching this happen.
Right.
We have a voice. We have a choice. We can shape the future of tech just as much as it shapes us.
That's a powerful realization.
It is. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this part of our deep dive.
Okay.
But before we go, I want to leave you with one final thought.
All right.
So Apple has basically conquered the world of personal devices.
Yeah, they're on top.
So what's next for them?
What's the next big thing?
We've seen hints about augmented reality, AI, but what's the big plan?
It really is the big question.
Yeah.
Apple's always been about more than just gadgets.
Right.
They're about creating experiences,
Yeah.
integrating technology into our lives.
Seamlessly.
Seamlessly, right? So where do they go next?
What's the next giant leap?
It's a huge question.
Yeah.
What's the next big thing for them?
The possibilities are kind of crazy when you think about it.
They are.
Will they, like, revolutionize healthcare, with AI doctors and personalized treatment plans?
It could happen.
Or maybe transportation will be next with self-driving cars that are as slick as an iPhone?
Yeah.
Could they even go to space, bring their design to rockets and spaceships?
I mean, I wouldn't put anything past them at this point,
Right.
but I kind of think their next big thing might be something even deeper like the human mind.
Wait, are you talking about brain-computer interfaces?
Yeah.
Like neural implants, that kind of thing?
Exactly. We've
Yeah.
already seen companies like Neuralink making progress there. And Apple has been quietly buying up companies and hiring people in neuroscience for years. So imagine a future where you can control your devices with your thoughts.
Wow.
Where you can download information straight into your brain.
Okay.
Where the real world and the digital world are totally blended.
That's both exciting and scary at the same time.
It is.
It sounds like science fiction, but it feels like it could actually happen.
And that's the thing about Apple.
Yeah.
They've always been about pushing the limits.
Right.
Challenging the status quo. Changing how we think about technology.
And they're really good at it.
They are.
So what does all this mean for us?
For the people who use their products.
Yeah, as they keep innovating.
I think it means we need to be ready for a future that's totally different from anything we've seen before.
Okay.
A future where what's real and what's virtual are kind of the same thing.
Right.
Where our minds are connected just like our devices.
And where anything is possible.
Yeah. Only limited by our imagination.
It's a future full of potential, but also some risks, right?
Of course.
It's a future that needs our attention. We need to think critically.
Yeah, we need to be active in shaping it.
Absolutely. And that's the real lesson from this deep dive.
That's why.
Apple might be a giant company, but they don't get to decide the future alone.
Right.
We all have a role to play, and the choices we make now will determine the world we live in tomorrow.
So true.
So stay informed, stay engaged, and most importantly, stay curious.
Yeah.
Because the future is coming whether we're ready or not.
Is.
And as we've learned from Apple, the best way to face the unknown is to embrace the possibilities, challenge what we think we know, and never stop asking questions.
Yeah, it really is the big question, isn't it? What comes next for them?
Yeah.
Like, where do they go from here?
The possibilities are pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah, they are.
Will they, like, revolutionize healthcare with, AI-powered diagnostics and, like, personalized medicine? Or maybe they'll transform transportation with self-driving cars that are, as sleek and easy to use as an iPhone.
I mean, those are all really interesting ideas.
Yeah.
And honestly, I wouldn't put anything past Apple at this point.
Right.
But I have a feeling their next frontier might be something even bigger, something more fundamental.
Okay.
Like the human mind itself.
Well, hold on. Are you talking about, like, brain-computer interfaces?
Yeah.
Neural implants, that kind of thing?
Exactly.
Really?
We've already seen companies like Neuralink making progress in that area.
Right.
And Apple's been quietly buying up companies and hiring neuroscientists for years.
Oh, wow.
So imagine a future where you can control your devices with your thoughts.
Okay.
Download information directly into your brain.
Yeah.
Where the line between the physical world and the digital world just disappears completely.
That's both, like, really exciting and kind of terrifying, to be honest. No, right? It sounds like science fiction, but it's starting to feel like a real possibility.
And that's what Apple does right. They push the boundaries.
Right.
They're not afraid to challenge how we think about technology.
Yeah, and they're good at it.
They're really good at it.
So what does all this mean for us, for the regular people using their products?
Like, as Apple keeps innovating and pushing forward,
Yeah, exactly.
I think it means we need to be ready for a future that's unlike anything we've ever seen.
Okay.
A future where the real and the virtual are completely blended.
Right.
Where our minds are connected just like our devices.
Oh.
And where the possibilities are basically limitless.
It's a future full of potential, but also a lot of potential risks, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's a future that needs our attention, our critical thinking.
Yeah, we need to be active in shaping it.
Absolutely. And that's really the big takeaway from this deep dive.
What's that?
Apple may be this huge company, but they don't get to decide the future on their own.
Right.
We all have a say, and the choices we make now will determine what kind of world we live in tomorrow.
That's so true.
So stay informed, stay engaged, and most importantly, stay curious.
Yeah, stay curious.
Because the future is coming whether we're ready or not.
It is.
And as we've learned from Apple, the best way to face the unknown is to embrace the possibilities, challenge our assumptions, and never stop asking questions.
Well said.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive today. Thanks for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll catch you next time.